Your generation has a very large curse, which is also your biggest advantage. Indians make a very different mistake. इंडिया में वो दर्श and अनन्या बैठ के एक सॉफ्टवेयर जरूर लिख देंगे, बट दे हैव नो आइडिया कि इसको बेचना कैसे है. दे हैव नो आइडिया इसको बात कैसे करनी है.
Right now, the developments taking in technology, AI, it's taking place at a very fast pace. So what all changes do you expect in the upcoming 4 to 5 years to occur?
Things will change dramatically. It's changing every day. Every day, it's just surprisingly stupid.
Is it worth it to start right now for the coding, or is it to like focus completely upon the studies and then get into the IIT branch of the computer science and then get through like whatever is the the coding and all?
The best way to take a decision is what can I defer and what is important now. Undistraction ask of your generation is like me saying IIT क्रैक किया है पहले 10 में, हार्वर्ड क्रैक किया पहले 10 में, इलॉन मस्क का जॉब किया है और जकरबर्ग को रिपोर्ट कर रहे हो, ऑल इन वन. दैट्स हाउ मेजर दिस आस्क इज.
Hi everyone, very good evening. So today we have with us a very special group of students who are joining us from Panchkula. These are students from the Bhavan School in Panchkula, and I will invite them to share their experiences, their background. So three of them are here. Darsh is here with us, Ananya is here, Mannat is here. Let's start with Ananya. Ananya, just a little bit about yourself, if you can share.
Namaste, sir. Namaste, everyone. My name is Ananya, and I am a student of class 9th D. I am very interested in technology from a very young age, and I look forward to developing apps and becoming a software engineer in the future. I have other hobbies such as singing and playing instruments also.
Great. Thank you, Ananya. Mannat, over to you. Anything you want to share about yourself?
Namaste everyone. I am Mannat, currently an 11th grade humanities student with dreams of becoming a lawyer as well as an IAS officer and looking forward to this interesting session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mannat. Darsh, आप बताइए अपने बारे में कुछ.
Namaste. I'm Darsh Khanna, a ninth grade student with a passion for creativity and technology. Uh, I'm deeply interested in graphic designing and I aspire to become a skilled software engineer. I enjoy blending artistic flair with the technical expertise to bring the ideas to the life, particularly. I'm always eager to learn and grow and explore the world of coding. I'm working towards building a strong foundation for an impactful future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Darsh, Ananya, and Mannat for joining us. So these are students who are joining us, as I said, from Bhavan's Panchkula, and we are excited to have a conversation with all of you. And for all our listeners, let me just share with you the format of today's podcast. So first, we'll begin with a very fun session with the students, and I'll ask them some fun questions to break the ice. So this will be very informal. I'll ask them some simple questions about the kind of music they enjoy, if they wanted to change something in their school, what they will do, and very, very simple questions to get to know them better. And then around the half an hour mark, we will invite our guest. Today, we have a very special guest who is joining us. Mr. Jasminder will join us, and he will be sharing his own experience. He's a very renowned business personality. He's been working in the field of entrepreneurship and investing for a very, very long time, and he will be joining us around 4:30. So I'll ask him a few questions and then invite the students to also ask him questions. So that will be the second segment. And then finally, we will have a pitching session, which is going to be a very, very interesting session. So students have all of these creative ideas. They just introduced themselves to you. They're all passionate about technology, about business, and they have thought of certain business ideas which they might want to uh, share with the speaker and get his feedback. So that will be the final segment. It will be a Shark Tank kind of a pitch where students make a very small presentation. They'll just share their ideas briefly, and then we'll ask our speaker to give them some feedback. So that is the format for today, and let's dive right into the first section, which is to get to know the students better. So first, let me ask, and you can respond in any order. Uh, who are your favorite musicians or artists? So if I were to look at your phone and ask you to share some musicians who you love to listen to, who would be the three most uh, interesting musicians that you listen to? एंड यू कैन शेयर इन एनी ऑर्डर. तो जिसको भी शेयर करना है पहले आप शेयर कर सकते हो.
So first of all, Taylor Swift, all-time Swiftie. Second, Olivia Rodrigo, and thirdly, Arijit Singh.
Okay, great. So that is Mannat. Ananya, you want to go next maybe?
Yes, sir. I enjoy listening to old music as well, like 80s in Hindi music. So I listen to Kishore Kumar's songs, Udit Narayan, and in English, I listen to Ed Sheeran.
Very nice, very nice. I didn't expect that answer, but very nice. I also listen to a lot of old retro Bollywood music, so very nice to hear that. Darsh, आप क्या सुनते हैं?
सर आई थिंक सो कि मैं अपने जैसे इंडियन ट्रेडिशन है तो उससे थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा इंस्पायर्ड रहता हूँ लाइक बियॉन्ड गोइंग टू दैट पार्ट विच इज़ द वेस्टर्न कल्चर एंड ऑल आई थिंक बिस्मिल्लाह खान टॉप्स माई लिस्ट बिकॉज द शेन्हाई दैट ही प्लेड द फर्स्ट टाइम while at that flag hoist at that fort I think that is one of the best things that I could have ever heard. दूसरी चीज सर अरिजीत सिंह आई थिंक सो इट इज वन ऑफ एवरीवन्स फेवरेट एंड सो डू माइन and the third one if I have to give anyone's name is A.R. Rahman. Of course he is one of the legendary musicians and so I like him.
क्या बात है. सो वेरी डाइवर्स रेंज. आप सभी को अलग अलग आर्टिस्ट पसंद है. मन्नत स्टार्टेड विद टेलर स्विफ्ट एंड शी आल्सो शेयर्ड अरिजीत सिंह. दर्श के साथ वो कॉमन है. एंड अनन्या, यू लिसन टू किशोर कुमार, उदित नारायण. So very diverse list, very very interesting. I think if all of you were attending a concert together, I would love to see who would be the performers there. uh, my second question to you, let's spice things up a little bit. तो आप सब लोग भवंस पंचकुला में पढ़ते हैं एंड यू ऑल हैव आई एम श्योर हैड अ ग्रेट स्कूलिंग एक्सपीरियंस. लेकिन फिर भी आपको अपने स्कूल में अगर एक दिन के लिए मौका मिलता कुछ बदलाव लाने का, तो मानिए कि आप एक दिन के लिए स्कूल के प्रिंसिपल हैं, ठीक है, एंड आप अपने स्कूल में जो बदलाव लाना चाहते हैं वो आप ला सकते हैं. तो वो क्या चीज़ आप चेंज करना चाहेंगे अपने स्कूल में अगर आपको एक दिन के लिए प्रिंसिपल बनाया जाए तो? सो अगेन ओपन टू एनीवन इन एनी ऑर्डर. एक दिन के लिए आप स्कूल के प्रिंसिपल हो, आप इमेजिन करो व्हाट विल बी द चेंजेस दैट यू लाइक टू ब्रिंग एंड मे बी हाईलाइट वन बिग चेंज.
Sir, like coming to the point that if I am made the principal of the school, first of all, though I, as a student of class ninth, Bhavan Vidyalaya Panchkula, I have been studying in this school since the 10 years. Okay, so it's have been a decade studying in this school. What I particularly feel, sir, is कि हमारा जो school है, it is very diversified with the things. Like वो अपनी academic learning में भी it is at the top, I think so, and at our cultural roots also. It is always blending it the creativity of the students alongside the cultural creativity probably I think so कि no school is there in the whole Panchkula district जिस जो इतना culture पे ध्यान देता है and again at the academics and the sports definitely. So if I were made the principal of the school for just one day I would have definitely made one change that could have been a more personalized learning in the context of कि students को एक centralized approach दी जाए कि they can sit together, they can discuss. Like we have the house meetings. I think so कि इसके हाउस मीटिंग्स के साथ हम काफी इश्यूज डिस्कस कर पाते हैं. वी हैव लाइक मल्टीपल हाउसेस, सत्यम हाउस, शिवम हाउस, सुंदरम एंड सो शुभम. सो अगर हाउस मीटिंग्स में एक लार्ज नंबर ऑफ पीपल अगर वो साथ में बैठ के एक मतलब एक इशू पे अगर एक डील कर सकते हैं, आई थिंक सो दैट वुड बी अमेजिंग. So that would be my first step if I ever made ever the principal.
So, thank you so much for that, Darsh. You were saying that you would want to have more forums like your house meetings. So you have four houses. आपने बताया कि सत्यम, शिवम, सुंदरम, शुभम, चार आपके स्कूल में हाउसेज हैं. एंड जब आपकी हाउस की मीटिंग्स होती हैं तो सारे बच्चे एक साथ आके कोई भी इशू होता है स्कूल का तो उसको डिस्कस करते हैं. सो यू फील दैट दैट काइंड ऑफ फोरम is very very powerful and energizing for students. So that's a very very good learning. Thank you. अनन्या, आप क्या चेंज करना चाहेंगे?
Sir, just like Darsh mentioned that our school has very diverse cultures. A lot of students from different backgrounds come to our school, and they all sit together and they study together. One thing that I have noticed is that a lot of the students in my class, at least, they are especially like interested in technology, like us.
Right.
So I have noticed before in my brother's school that whenever there is a mission, suppose like the Mars mission, the Mangalyaan that took place, or the Chandrayaan previous year, they had simulations. Like they were given an opportunity to picture themselves in the process of going to those planets or satellites, and they got a chance to picture themselves there and to see their future in that field. So I think those kind of things should be held in our school more often.
Great. So more exposure to events where students can also imagine their future, work with global experts, global
Yes, sir.
mentors.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Fantastic. No, that's great. That's great to know. मन्नत, आप क्या चेंज करना चाहोगे स्कूल में?
So I came to this school this year itself. So as Darsh mentioned, we need more forums in the school. So every student can voice their opinion because I feel कि जो newbies होते हैं उनको इतना ज़्यादा chance नहीं मिलता है. So they should get that. And that's all.
Great, great. No, thank you so much. And actually, that's a very good point. Many students join the school at a different time. So some students, like दर्श आपने mention कि आप 10 साल से स्कूल में पढ़ रहे हो, आप बहुत familiar हो, but कुछ बच्चे बाद में ज्वाइन करते हैं. तो स्कूल का जो कल्चर है वो ऐसा होना चाहिए कि सब जो बच्चे हैं उनको ऐसा महसूस हो कि we are all part of this community, we have a voice and we are able to share what we feel can change, what can improve, what is working well. So more forums, more power to the students, more empowerment where students can share their thoughts and improve the culture of the school. So thank you so much. Very, very thoughtful suggestions. Now again, let's make it a bit more interesting. And I want to ask you, आपकी जो डेली लाइफ है अभी, आप लोग एक दो बच्चे जो हैं यहाँ पे, दर्श अनन्या, आप 9 स्कूल में हैं, मन्नत यू आर इन 11th ग्रेड. तो आई एम इमेजिनिंग जो आपकी लाइफ है उसमें देर आर सम ऑफ कोर्स एकेडमिक रिलेटेड एक्टिविटीज, there are sports, maybe some of you are interested in performing arts, some of you might be traveling across India for different things if there are events which are held. So given life as a student, you might notice some problems that you face either in your own life or any problem that you've seen society or in your own family. So if you were to come up with a gadget, right, any gadget using technology, and many of you said कि आपको टेक्नोलॉजी में बहुत इंटरेस्ट है, तो कोई भी डेली लाइफ में आपने कोई चीज ऑब्जर्व की है उसको सॉल्व करने के लिए कोई गैजेट बनाना होता, तो क्या आप गैजेट बनाते? इट कुड बी अ ड्रीम गैजेट, इट डजंट हैव टू बी फीजिबल कि ये आज ही बन जाएगा, लेकिन कोई प्रॉब्लम आप सॉल्व कर सको टेक्नोलॉजी के थ्रू, तो वो क्या प्रॉब्लम होगी और किस तरह का गैजेट आप बनाना चाहोगे? So you can be creative. Just take 30 seconds, think about anything that you observe in your daily life, and imagine you have a magic wand. You can create this magic gadget which can solve a problem that you see persists in your life, in your family's life, or anything around you. So ऐसा क्या gadget बनाना चाहोगे आप?
Sir, I think I have an answer for this question.
Yes, yes, go ahead.
Uh, Sir, I think so कि when we are in our school life, so हमारा जो major problems हम face करते हैं, that is probably related to the doubts. It is more often to the decision making.
Hmm.
Since our mind is being developed, we are actually not getting that much exposure to the real world as the adults get.
Right.
So if I could have that that magic wand, so to create a gadget, so it would be definitely the one which could theoretically tell me what should I do next, what should be the next decision that could be my taken. Because I think so okay, in our school life we have the subjects, fine, we have our sports, that is also fine, but in our the grass change that we have from our 17th to the 18th year, probably that is to our adult years, we don't really know about what is life. And so do our adults also tell that हमें कहीं ना कहीं अभी समझना चाहिए, अभी हम बच्चे से बड़े हुए हैं, तो इसलिए थोड़ा सा भी सहम के चलना चाहिए. बट राइट, सो वी शुड हैव दैट गैजेट जो कि हमें बता सके कि राइट नाउ यू हैव टू डू दिस, यू हैव टू कॉन्सेंट्रेट ऑन योर स्टडीज से, इफ यू आर इंटरेस्टेड इन, एंड देन गेट अ गुड लाइफ. द मेन गोल इज द delayed gratification.
वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग दर्श. बहुत आपको मुझे लगता है इस गैजेट की जरूरत नहीं है, जितना मेच्योरिटी के साथ आप सोचते हो, ऑलरेडी आप उस डायरेक्शन में चल रहे हो. बट अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग गैजेट जो डिसीजन मेकिंग में आपको हेल्प करे, अ गैजेट विच कैन गिव यू लाइफ एक्सपीरियंस इवन बिफोर यू हैव इट. सो क्या बात है, मतलब वेरी वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग थॉट. अनन्या, व्हाट अबाउट यू?
Sir, one problem that I see in students around me is that like a lot of students, they have a problem like with scoring good marks, and so um, they have a lot of pressure and stress from their teachers or even from their peers. So there should be some kind of a platform, maybe the simplest of a platform, some kind of technology to help them out with that, somewhere where they can share their views on how they're feeling, and some way in which the teachers can understand that maybe they are good in some other fields, some other activities in which they can be encouraged, instead of forcing them into studying when they are clearly feeling pressured about it.
वेरी वेरी नाइस। आई थिंक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक आपने रेज किया है नन्या। एंड आई वर्क विद अ लॉट ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स, वी वर्क विद अ लॉट ऑफ स्कूल्स। तो ये वाकई में मैं आई वांट टू कमेंड द प्रॉब्लम दैट यू हैव आइडेंटिफाइड, कि द काइंड ऑफ प्रेशर आवर स्टूडेंट्स फील टुडे, दैट इज फिनोमिनल। बिकॉज मेरी जनरेशन में भी वी हैड सम प्रेशर्स, बट आई थिंक टुडे देर इज, आई वुड से, अ पैराडॉक्स ऑफ चॉइस। हमारे जनरेशन में ऑलरेडी चॉइस था काफ़ी। आई थिंक फॉर माई पेरेंट्स जनरेशन दैट चॉइस वॉज वेरी लिमिटेड, बिकॉज इंडिया में economic opportunities were limited, and so our parents were just focused on building a livelihood, building a career for themselves. In our generation some choices started appearing, लेकिन जब से इंटरनेट आया है, for your generation you are exposed to the whole world. So you can think of becoming an astronaut, you can think of becoming environmental conservationist, you can think of becoming a wildlife photographer। जो भी आपको बनना है, आपके पास सारी choices हैं। तो दैट एक्चुअली बिल्ड्स मोर प्रेशर, आई फील समटाइम्स, बिकॉज आप कुछ भी बन सकते हो। तो टू आइडेंटिफाई कि मेरा ही क्या पैशन है, और जो दर्श बात कर रहे थे कि हमें विदाउट एक्सपीरियंस कैसे पता चले लाइफ में कैसे डिसीजंस लेते हैं, सो दैट क्रिएट्स अ लॉट ऑफ स्ट्रेस। एंड द डिवाइस दैट यू आर मेंशनिंग, इफ सम device can help students share some of these feelings, feel lighter. You may not always know exactly what you want to do, but just being able to share that। एंड मेरे ख्याल से आपके आंसर में मुझे एक ये भी चीज नजर आई कि जो जनरेशनल गैप है एक, शायद अब पेरेंट्स से या टीचर से कैसे कम्युनिकेट कर सकते हैं, हम उनको अपनी बात कैसे समझा सकते हैं। तो ऐसा कोई डिवाइस हो जिससे कि जो मेरे मन में फीलिंग्स हैं वो शायद मेरे पेरेंट्स और टीचर्स और बेहतर समझ पाएं, तो वो बहुत एक मैजिकल डिवाइस होगा। सो दैट इज फैंटास्टिक। थैंक यू सो मच अनन्या। Mannat, it's a hard
Thank you, sir.
act for you to follow up after what Darsh and Ananya have shared. But any thoughts that you have on a device that you want to
So,
create?
as an 11th grader, we have so much to rote learn. And since childhood, I have been obsessed with Doraemon का वो bread वाला gadget. So, I need that
Huh.
gadget in my life कि bread पे you paste it on notebook and you eat it and everything is in your mind. So, that's what I need. And I think that every 11th and 12th grader need it.
No, absolutely. No, thank you. And actually, this segues nicely into my next question and the final question. I think Mr. Jasminder will also join very, very soon. So, that is exactly about this question, Mannat, कि जो हमारे स्कूल में एजुकेशन है, आज भी हम बात करते हैं। अगेन अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स हैव चेंज्ड एंड चेंज्ड फॉर द बेटर। लेकिन रोट लर्निंग की आपने बात की, बहुत सारी चीज़ों को याद करना पड़ता है, बहुत सारी चीज़ों को बिना समझे भी हमें कई बार एग्जाम में लिखना पड़ता है। So if I were to ask you again in terms of learning, क्लासरूम में कुछ अलग तरीके से, इनोवेटिव तरीके से अगर टीचर को पढ़ाना हो, तो कोई भी सब्जेक्ट आप ले सकते हैं, साइंस, हिस्ट्री, केमिस्ट्री, कोई भी, जो भी आपका फेवरेट है या जो आप लीस्ट फेवरेट है, उसको लर्न करने के लिए कोई इनोवेटिव तरीका अगर आपके दिमाग में है, तो वो क्या हो सकता है, डिपेंडिंग ऑन द सब्जेक्ट दैट यू चूज। सो एनी थॉट्स ऑन हाउ टीचर्स कैन डिलीवर learning in a more innovative and engaging manner?
Shall I start?
Yes, yes, go ahead, Man.
So, I have economics as my subject, and it is a very theoretical subject as well. So,
Hmm.
I feel कि real life examples अगर हम लेते हैं तो उससे हमें we take the graphs or any real life case study, so उससे हमें learning is made easier. तो ऐसा टीचर्स को करना चाहिए, एंड हमारी टीचर बहुत अपना पूरा एफर्ट लगाते हैं कि she does this, and that's why I am good in this subject. So yeah.
वेरी नाइस। तो आपने इकोनॉमिक्स की बात की, एंड इट्स अ वेरी वेरी ऑफ कोर्स इम्पोर्टेंट डिसिप्लिन। आप न्यूज़पेपर भी उठा के, इफ यू स्टार्ट रीडिंग और इफ यू लुक एट एनी इवेंट हैपनिंग अराउंड यू, आई थिंक इकोनॉमिक्स हैज अ लॉट ऑफ नाइस थ्योरीज एंड फ्रेमवर्क्स टू हेल्प अस अंडरस्टैंड द वर्ल्ड। लेकिन आपका जो पॉइंट है वो यही है कि अगर हम सिर्फ टेक्स्ट बुक लर्निंग ना करें, उसको किसी भी रियल वर्ल्ड इवेंट से कनेक्ट करके हम अगर लर्निंग करें, so students will understand much better. And we have for that a lot of methods, case study methods, so people study, what has happened earlier, so you probably look at a case study. At KRUU we also do a lot of project based learning, so giving you actually a problem and saying ki, this is a problem, how do you come up with a solution? So that makes learning more exciting. So thank you, Darsh, Ananya, uh, आपके कुछ thoughts हैं इस question पर?
So, sir, regarding this, the question of yours, कि how could it be more personalized, or maybe how it could be like कैसे एक engaging session बन सकता है? Sir, I think so कि we should leverage technology. The first step should be this only. हमारे classrooms में we have the smart boards, we have the chalkboards also, and we have the designated computer labs. So I think so the technology has been there in our school since years. But the thing or the step I think so कि जो missing है, that is taking it to the next level. Like right now the global scenario right now I'm talking about AR and the VR. These are the two things which are, at the urge of emerging also and developed also. But theoretical subjects such as biology, for me, I think so. Ki biology, I am really good in it also, and sometimes I feel a bit of curiosity that what could have happened if I would have really been in the laboratory or looked through that microscope, the various say organelles or say whatever is the structure of the cell. So that could be really very well imagined by the AR headsets. So if this could be, I know that it is a bit of, it is not a wise option in terms of our pockets, but still, it could create that environment which would be, very relatable. The teacher would could have delivered the lectures, and after that, each and every student could have the specified VR and the AR headsets through which it could, see those broader concepts in more detail. Like for example, when I talk about the mathematics, if say example the graphs chapter is being taught, that AR headset would give us the ability to really visualize those equations graph, which could foster the learning. So that is my main concern, that could be really improved.
वेरी नाइस, क्या बात है, आप जब बात भी कर रहे हो उसके बारे में, यू सीम वेरी पैशनेट, सो आई एम श्योर you might develop a solution like that. I'm sure technology is very, very helpful. And I think integrating technology in the classroom is equally important. So the teacher should know how to use that technology, should use that technology very, very carefully, so that जो लेसन प्लान है जो उस दिन को whatever the teacher is planning to do in the class, it blends in seamlessly. I think that becomes very, very important. So we believe truly, yes, technology can be very, very, very impactful. And AR and VR, which you described, I think both very powerful tools. And you gave a very nice example of mathematics and graph theory also. So I'm sure this is of course a fascinating area, and a lot of different education organizations, schools are working on this. So let's see what happens in the next 5-10 years. It's a very ripe time for technology to impact education. We'll close it off with Ananya. What are your thoughts?
Sir, I think a lot of students find it difficult to memorize history questions and dates, and so our school makes sure that every year when we go on a trip, we visit at least one historical site, so that when students picturize it in front of them and they understand it through the statues or sculptures that are made, they are able to better relate the chapters with themselves. So I think that is great for their memorizing part.
Very nice. No, I'm very, very happy कि within the three students also we've covered such a wide range of educational innovations. So Mannat आपने share किया कि real world problems, real world learning, connecting learning to the real world. So that is a very important thing. दर्श आपने टेक्नोलॉजी के बारे में बात की है, स्पेशली AR और VR को कैसे हम लोग क्लासरूम में ला सकते हैं. And Ananya, finally you talked about immersive learning, what we call immersions. So going to the field, doing field work, being in real communities, especially when learning things like history or even sociology. So being in society, being in a community really helps you learn much more, because आप जो किताब में पढ़ रहे हो, you'll have one understanding. For example, I'm recording this from Delhi, and I'm a big history buff, so I do a lot of heritage walks in Delhi. And we learned history in school, I remember, when I was your age. So I had a different understanding. We learned all the dates, and this is when the Mughals came to India, this is what happened. But when I go to Red Fort or when I go to Chandni Chowk, I can now feel that this history is part of a living reality for people, how it has affected people. So that really changes our perception of history. So that is fantastic, and I think we will close this section off now. I think it's been a fantastic section, and all of you have come up with brilliant responses. So thank you so much. We'll now await our guest, Jasminder sir. I think he'll be joining very soon. So I'll ask him a couple of questions, and then, yes, right on time. Hi, sir. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well, thank you so much, sir. We were just wrapping up the first section and just on time, right on the cue. And the students were sharing some very interesting things. So they were sharing a little bit about their schools. So as you know, Darsh, Ananya, Mannat, all three of them are joining from Bhavans Vidyalaya in Panchkula, and they were sharing a little bit about their interest in music, technology. फिर हम एजुकेशन की थोड़ी बात कर रहे थे. So I asked them कि अगर एक दिन के लिए आप स्कूल के प्रिंसिपल होते तो आप अपने स्कूल में क्या चेंज करते. So they were sharing things around student forums and more voice for the students in their community. And then finally we were talking a little bit about education कि अगर क्लासरूम में आप कोई इनोवेशन लाना चाहो. So again we got a very good mix of responses. Mannat shared a little bit about learning from the real world. So having more projects or having more case studies could be helpful. Darsh was talking about technology and AR and VR, how that can be deployed. He gave a very nice example of graph theory. If you want to explain mathematics using AR and VR, how that can change a student's understanding. And then finally, Ananya shared a little bit about subjects like history, to take students to the field, and heritage sites and heritage walks, how that can change up things. So that was our first segment, just to get to know the students better and warm them up. Now we are all ready to welcome you, sir. And first of all, I wanted to thank you so much for sparing your time. It's a very, very special session for us to have you come and speak to the children. Uh, I'd like to just invite you first to share a little bit about yourself and your journey, because during this interaction also, all the students also shared that they really want more access to people who are working in the industry, people who have already worked for 10, 15, 20 years, to learn from their experiences and what they have gained from life, so that when they make their decision about where to go and study in college, what career to build, they can have some perspective from those who have already done that. So, in the spirit of that, maybe I'll invite you to share a little bit about your journey and how your career has been, what you have learned from your work so far.
So, no, thank you. This is something I, you know, Anil at Crew, and I've almost birthed this company together. So, I obviously get remain very involved with what's happening. But it's also, clearly good to see, kids, young, very, very young people, wanting to, you know, do these things and find the time to do all these things. I think that's very, very valuable to do that. My generational gap, the people in this is with this group is significant. We are, if not two, at least three generations apart from each other, given the pace at which things have changed in the last 100 years of the world.
Yes.
And it's a large gap. It's impossible for me to talk anything to this group which will meaningfully matter to them, given what's going on there in their heads. And these are all teens, so anyway, they have thousands of things happening in their heads. They're going through all sorts of peer pressure, all sorts of things happening around them. uh, just to give you my background, I graduated my school in Delhi from Mount St. Mary's, uh, and then moved on to Bombay University to do my computer science engineering. And I went into computer science at a very young age. I graduated in 1994 with a computer science background, and that also, funnily to this group, my major is in artificial intelligence. So in 1994, imagine not only graduating in computer science, but doing AI, which is now the hottest thing on earth. The story there worth telling this generation is that I went to my college in the final year one day, and I saw a notice board which said that, here are the four majors in which you can major your degree in, and सबसे नीचे लिखा हुआ था artificial intelligence. And then they had put a small green color का, I don't know if it still of school में use होता है, green color का एक, pilot का pen use होता है. It's very green in color. I don't know if they still use it in schools. It's a very school thing. I've never seen anybody use a green colored pilot pen in my life. I'm remembering it after that, but that's so vivid. Somebody had cancelled, put a cross next to it, And I remember going up to somebody and saying, "ये cross क्यों लाला हुआ है?" And I had no clue what AI was. I mean, the words were so alien. The other was robotics and image processing and stuff like that. And मैंने कहा ये, but it's an important story to be told, which is only resonate to this group. I walked up to the dean's office and said, मुझे AI चाहिए. He said, हमने cancel कर दिया ना, because nobody wants it. तो हमने वो cancel कर दिया. It's not available this year. Last year था, अगले साल देखेंगे if there are students. I said, no, no, I want it. I had no reason to ask. I had no reason. Again, I repeat. Just because somebody said हमने cancel कर दिया है, and as a 24, 23, 22 year old, as no, 22? How is that possible? I can't be 22. 1994. Yeah, I was 20. Yeah. So as a 20-year-old, what do, man? You just want to go against the world. That's all you want to do. And that's why I encourage, my first thing is to go against the world, even if it doesn't make sense. Because in the initial years, you're building a very different muscle. You're building a muscle to be confident. You're building a muscle in the first few years of your life. बल्कि पंगा लेना है हर चीज से. These are पंचकुला children. They don't need to be told the word पंगा. हर चीज उंगली पानी है, हर चीज पंगा लेना है. हर चीज है. Just, of course, as long as it's not drinking the night away, and that also sometimes is okay with me. But yeah, as long as it's not drugs and doing something stupid like that, I just think pangas have to be taken, and it builds a very strong muscle. So I mean, for example, this group sitting with me right now listening to me is also panga. You see, these guys have chosen to be here today. Must be what, how many students do you think are there in Panchkula right now? Let me ask one of you to give me an answer. Take a guess. In your age group, कितने student है Panchkula च, चंडीगढ़ च? Tell me somebody.
तो सर मेरा नाम दर्श खन्ना है ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਭਵਨ ਵਿਦਿਆਲਿਆ ਪੰਚਕੂਲਾ ਚ ਪੜ੍ਹਦਾ ਹਾਂ ਸਰ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਸਿਖਾਈ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਸਕੂਲ 'ਚ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ 'ਚ ਕਰਨੀ ਵੀ ਬੜੀ ਇੰਟਰੈਕਟਿੰਗ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ ਸਰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਗੈਸ ਹੀ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਤਾਂ ਮੋਰ ਦੈਨ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ 4500 ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਹੋਣਗੇ ਪੰਚਕੂਲਾ 'ਚ ਜੋ ਕਿ
4500?
ਸਾਡੇ ਏਜ ਗਰੁੱਪ 'ਚ ਹੈ ਹਾਂਜੀ
नहीं यार, you mean 4500? चलो ठीक है.
ਯੈਸ ਸਰ
Ananya?
Namaste, sir. Sir, I think this children of my age must be more than a crore, but the ones who are getting to study, they might be less.
Okay, very nice. Mannat?
Namaste, sir. So I think पंचकुला में around 2 lakh or 3 lakh मेरे एज ग्रुप के होंगे.
तो दर्श का नंबर तो बड़ा ही गलत है, भाई गॉड. तो ठीक है, एवरेज कर लेने. व्हाट, सो लेट जस्ट से 10,000 या 50,000, ओके, फॉर द सेक ऑफ दिस कॉर्नर. 50,000 में 3 of you have taken a panga today. Is that a fair statement?
श्योर सर
Similarly, one guy sitting in 1994 in Bombay University, Punjabi, Sardar, going to his dean and saying, मुझे तो artificial intelligence करना है. तो same ना, it would be the same ratio. There'll be some 60 into 4 batches, 6 4s are 20. 240 लोगों में, if I'm the only one who came to his dean and said that I want to do AI, it's the same as you three versus 10,000 people, right? The odds are exactly the same if you notice. So the fact that you are taking panga is the first learning of life. Okay? If you're going to keep quiet and sit at home and not do anything, then that's not going to work. ठीक है ना? Life is at your age. जिन्ना पंगा लेना लो. So at 94, I graduated in AI, did 3 years of TCS. Then I applied for my US masters, got through some 2 very good colleges. When I look back, and I regret it, by the way, one was Carnegie Mellon. And those days, we didn't have people to mentor us. I must tell you guys. You can Google Carnegie Mellon. Please understand, there was no internet in 1996. Though I fell into the internet and became one of the first pioneers of that in the country. But ठीक है ना, नहीं था. And I had a choice between suddenly taking a job at Microsoft in Delhi versus going to Carnegie Mellon. And the good news about the US universities is you can defer. I don't know if you know that. You get in, you can defer for a year. And then also you write an email to them next year and say, यार मैं अगले साल ही आऊँगा. And they'll say, okay, that's fair. ये अमेरिका में, हमारे देश और अमेरिका में बहुत ये fundamental, we are two different fundamental countries, right? You have to understand, in America, it's a trust first country. You say you got through Carnegie Mellon, which is a big thing. They now almost think you're a student. they'll love you like, and once you've gotten accepted na, then you can almost tell them कि मुझे CMU जाना ही नहीं है, but मुझे डिग्री चाहिए. There is a good 30% chance they'll say yes, because for them that's what matters. वो पंगे, you understand that panga line I told you, that matters to them, that some student gets up and says something. It matters to them. Anyway, I didn't go there. I went to Microsoft, which is a, it's like saying I went to, in today's day and age, the nearest analogy I can give you is, let's say, it's like saying that I got a job directly reporting into Elon Musk. It's the same as in those days getting into Microsoft India. So it's the same, the same bragging rights you would get, that अरे मेरा बॉस तो इलॉन मस्क है. मैं तो कल गया था, वो स्पेसएक्स पे खड़ा था मैं, तो वो एक रॉकेट आया नीचे, तो वो मेरा ही कोड है जो चला वहां पे, एंड इलॉन एंड आई वाज स्पीकिंग हाउ कैन वी ऑप्टिमाइज दिस कोड. इट्स द सेम bragging right, by the way. Please understand, this 30 years back. And therefore the bragging right was the same for me, or in my peer group, or my whichever place I wanted to. So I did Microsoft for, gosh, 14 odd years. I just couldn't leave. काटने के पहले तो कहाँ आके रुक के चला गया. But I didn't leave for 14 odd years. And then another life lesson is that if you do things in time, when I say in time, you do it ahead of the others. I'm not saying that you have to do it. If you do things ahead of the others, you'll obviously always remain ahead. Because if तुमने AI का पंगा लिया है, आज इस मीटिंग में आप लोग आयो, ਇੱਥੇ ਆਇਓ, पंगा तलता ना, ਤੇ ਅਗਰ ਅੱਜ ਰਾਤੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡਾ ਪੰਗਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੈਣਾ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ 'ਚ, ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਤਾਂ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਇਆ ਨਾ to come to this meeting. You notice what I'm saying? Just because you've come early to something, you have to maintain that earliness. Na? Another Harsh and Ananya and Manata going to get access to a Jasminder, and then again they'll become what? You'll become all same. So when you're ahead in time, you just naturally remain ahead in time. You understand? You just constantly remain ahead. Because the waves are so strong. आपको दादर स्टेशन की लोकल के बारे में पता है? Do you know what Dadar station local train means? It's an analogy. All you have to do is turn up at the station. People will take you into the train. There are a million people taking the same train. So if you are able to come down the steps of Dadar station, which I hope you guys will see in your life, you are standing at the platform, and suppose you want to go, to Sukhna Lake, because that's what you guys know. And galti se the train has come which is going towards Mohali, you will be in the Mohali train, because the people are going to push you into the Mohali train. By the time you realize कि मैं तो गलत ट्रेन में आ गया हूँ, आप मोहाली पहुंच जाएंगे. तो पॉइंट ये है कि जिंदगी में प्लेटफॉर्म ठीक है जाना बड़ा जरूरी है, बाकी you have to leave to nature and people to carry you along. And therefore, the point I'm making is, if you're ahead, you're always going to remain ahead. People are going to make you always ahead. You're going to be called into those meetings, into those groups, into those social groups, into those. You're walking into the US every other day. You're taking a flight on a. There are at least 20 occasions in my life where I have gone from the airport, from the office to the airport. At least 20 occasions in my life. Now, you guys still can't imagine that possible. And I'm saying, we've done that much of fun that 4 बजे सोचा है कि आज रात को ना we have to review the US business, the UK business, and then by 9 p.m. you're at the airport and somebody has got your bags from home, and this is in 2000, early 2000s. Even now I can brag about it to you. I don't think your generation even, it's still a brag, no, कि 4 बजे ऑफिस से निकले सीधा यूके की फ्लाइट, and you haven't even gone home to pack. It's still a brag, no? It's still fun, no? Think about it. And imagine it's cold, you realize it only at the airport, and therefore you go into a shop to buy your jackets while at the airport. तो अब मजा आया ना? This is life, right? This is leading the full life, इसको कहते हैं. But continuing on my journey, then after those 14 years of Microsoft, I realized you also get very overwhelmed by life. You have to understand you're working hard, there's a price to pay for everything. The price we paid was a very low social life. Though people think that we are partying across every night, in doing all sorts of funny things, but we don't. You can't remain ahead in life without working, right? So we paid. I'm not going to let you into my boring the price that we paid, but I did do a startup after 14 years of being at Microsoft, because there was no other choice. You're when you're so ahead, you tend to थिंक कि सबसे बड़ी चीज़ मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ अब मैं इतना कॉन्फिडेंस है, इतना ये है, इतनी एबिलिटीज़ हैं, इतने लोग आपको ट्रस्ट करते हैं, इतना आप अहेड हो मार्केट को समझने में। तुम 2012 में आई डिड अ स्टार्टअप, इट वाज गिविंग वेबसाइट्स थ्रू एआई। नाउ इन 2012 आई एम अज्यूमिंग 3 of you are just about born, just about, and therefore telling a venture capital guy, or if you know what VCs are, you go to venture capital and say, boss, I'm doing a startup and I'm going to do it in AI. They said, ये AI क्या होता है? What do you mean by you will do it in AI? I said, we will auto generate these websites, and I'm a tech guy, so I won't go deeper into it. Anyway, long story short, after 8 years, Reliance acquired my company and I exited to, as they say, Mukesh Bhai. So I sold my company to them, and then COVID happened. Within a month of me joining, within a month of selling my company to Reliance, COVID happened, and then I'm just about coming out of Reliance now. So that's my life story. That's where I've come. So I'll pause here, but three large blocks in life. First block is studies and doing something which nobody wanted, taking a panga because you wanted it and you didn't even know it, but you wanted it. Second is to defer a US education to go to Microsoft, which has its own pros and cons. That was a large international job. And the third is doing a startup and successfully exiting it, because companies have to be made and proven that they're worth. Otherwise, and proven worth means either you go onto the stock market, you know what that is? It is called IPO. Either you have your shares being traded in the public domain, which means people means retail investors, आप और मैं, टीसीएस के शेयर खरीद लें, आईटीसी के खरीद लें, अदानी के खरीद लें, रिलायंस के खरीद लें, रिलैक्सो चप्पल के खरीद लें, विच मीन्स वी आर सेइंग, अरे रिलैक्सो वालों, आप तो बड़े सही हो, आप चप्पल अच्छी बनाते हो, ये मेरे 10 रुपए आप ले लो. It's called stock market. Everybody can buy a Relaxo का share, correct? Even if you can't buy a chappal. But you tell them कि boss, so exiting is a very, very beautiful bookend. You know what a bookend is? There are two bookends. आप bookend जानते हो? You know what a bookend is? Yes, no? When you keep books in a rack, na, you keep a bookend, then you put the books and you put the second bookend ताकि किताबें गिरे ना. रैक की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ. So you keep one book and another bookend. So when you're finishing a job, you need start and end. तो end बड़ा ज़रूरी है ज़िंदगी का, because you can logically close it. So that's my journey. Sorry, it's a long journey, but yeah, I'll pause for a second.
Yes, no, thank you so much, sir, for sharing that. And this is a forum meant for students, so I will not interject too much. दर्श, मन्नत, अनन्या, आप लोग जो भी आपके दिमाग में सवाल हैं, I'm sure you'll be very curious to know more details or things which are personally relevant to you, some dilemmas that you are facing. तो आप पूछिए. This is a very golden opportunity to interact with a very senior person who has agreed to spare his time for all of you to ask him questions. So over to you, please.
So thank you, sir, for sharing your journey. I think so that is really very insightful. I have a question in my mind, sir. Looking back at your time, since you told that there is a gap of the generations between you and us, so could you please tell us or say suggest us what are, according to you, some of the major emerging branches in AI? Since AI is a very broad topic, so if there could be certain, a path that could be given to us and we could just work upon it, say day and night, so that could be really very beneficial for us. So according to you, what are the main?
So AI ना, दुनिया बहुत फंडामेंटल्स में चलती है, राइट? हर 5 साल एक नई चीज आती है. ऐसे पहले क्लाउड था, उससे पहले SaaS बिकेन. इफ यू नो व्हाट SaaS is सॉफ्टवेयर एज अ सर्विस. फिर वो बना, फिर so tech world goes in leaps of 5 years. AI of course is a slightly faster leap. The unfortunate answer to your question is that it's a 5 hour answer. It's not a quick 2 minute answer. There is a lot of things happening in AI. At the lowest layer is what is called compute. कंप्यूट का मतलब होता है जो लैपटॉप जिस चिप से चलता है, और एआई को जो चिप्स चाहिए होते हैं वो कंप्यूट लेवल कहते हैं उसको. For you people, think of this as Intel chips, but don't think of them as Intel chips, because the company which is winning there is in Nvidia. If you've heard that name, have you heard Nvidia?
Yes.
Huh. So compute layer is now suddenly with only one chip company in the world, which by the way, if you look at their history, वो भी 20-25 साल struggle किया उस कंपनी ने, 25 साल, to finally AI to emerge and for them to become big. And now, by the way, they're even bigger than Apple. They're the biggest company on earth. So compute सबसे नीचे है, और if you really want to do fundamental changes in the world, then compute को समझना पड़ेगा आपको. That's a very, it requires very formal degrees, and I think it requires a lot of effort to fix your compute thinking. उसके बाद आता है infrastructure layer. Compute भी infrastructure में आता है, but let's say infrastructure layer, where I'll give you an example. आपने chat GPT, you use chat GPT or open AI, or do you guys use Copilot or Gemini?
Yes, sir.
All of these, when you give them a prompt, they have to go use large databases and large context and large algorithms and large machine learning to get you that answer in seconds. So there is an infra layer which is constantly computing that. And then there's the application layer. Application is Gemini, Copilot, Chat GPT, or application layer. Of course, they are all digging into OpenAI's Chat GPT network, but everybody is now, the what is blowing up for people, you and me and your generation, is going to be the application layer, the various applications of AI. So if you stay there, that's the highest upside. And apps saying bahut hain, can you do, mental wellness apps? Can you do agriculture apps? Can you do, you now, machine learning? By the way, AI is nothing else but machine learning. If you really were to, if I was to give you a better phrase. So अब देखो, Archaeological Survey of India is using AI to find out, they're taking pictures of, and they've done it for years, right? They take pictures from the air of sites. But maybe India, I think there are probably a million sites we have not opened up to archaeology. We are an old civilization, we know that. Abhi bhi, maybe right outside, apna Panchkula, there'll be probably 15, and then this could be really true. The Mahabharata, they've just started doing the Kurukshetra mapping from the sky. So these are real issues, right? These are real life. And why AI? Because इससे पहले you are only taking pictures. Today, I can take existing archaeological survey photographs from the ground, from tourists, from commercial flights, from a tower, a watchtower, or and I can all merge them together to make sense. करे यहाँ पे नीचे लगता है कुछ हुआ है, या कोई माउंड छुपा हुआ है. So you have to understand, AI is not it's a technology which uses other technologies to find something, or to, जैसे मैं आपने बोला चैट जीपीटी को, मेक मी अ लोगो ऑफ अ एआई कंपनी विच सेल्स वेजिटेबल्स इन पंचकुला. जवाब आता है ना, कैसे आता है? उसको वेजिटेबल समझ आया, उसको इमेज समझ आया, उसको लोगो समझ आया, उसको कंपनी समझ आया, उसको पंचकुला समझ आया, उसको सेल समझ आया. 6 शब्द समझ आए एआई को. उन सबको मिला के उन्होंने एक लोगो बना दिया आपको चैट जीपीटी पे, राइट? सिमिलरली, इन दिस एग्जांपल दैट आई गेव यू, दैट सर्वे इन पंचकुला, the feeding documents have become very easy to read. जो पहले मशीन, आदमी चाहिए होता था पढ़ने के लिए, एक बंदा पढ़ेगा, अच्छा ये ना बड़े सालों से लगता है कि यहाँ मिट्टी पड़ी हुई है, नीचे कुछ लग रहा है, एक्सरे किया हमने, कुछ ऊपर से लग रहा है कोई मॉन्यूमेंट है नीचे. Now you don't need humans, because there's so much of data that AI can sift through, sift through, that they will say, अरे यहाँ लग रहा है कुछ है. Are you guys understanding the difference? Nobody has to sit in an archaeological survey office and look after documents after documents after documents. Say यहाँ कुछ हो सकता है. अब वो automatically generate हो रहा है. Because the 6 words that I told you are automatic, right? उनको weave कर दिया किसी ने automatically. That's AI. So I think these are interesting examples of how you can use AI, where the basic databases, the basic intelligence is done, but you are using it for the next layer.
Thank you so much, sir. I think so. I've got really more about the broad perspective of AI. I thought ki AI is all about, that chat GPT and how all they generated and got that information. But that archaeological example, I think so, that's really a mind-blowing example. Thank you so much, sir.
Correct.
Thank you, Dash. Mannat, yes.
Yes, sir. So, first of all, thank you so much, sir, for sharing your journey. It was really inspiring. And my question is, what, according to you, common mistakes do startups make and how can they avoid them?
Interesting. That's another 20-hour discussion, if not a 5-minute answer. So common mistakes तो बहुत हैं. Uh, I think in India the mistakes are different than the US. Indians make a very different mistake. We, as India, we don't understand marketing and distribution. It's not natural to us as a country. I keep saying this very openly and everywhere. इंडिया में वो दर्श and अनन्या बैठ के एक सॉफ्टवेयर जरूर लिख देंगे, बट दे हैव नो आइडिया कि इसको बेचना कैसे है. दे हैव नो आइडिया इसको बात कैसे करनी है. एंड इफ आई टेल देम कि इसको इंस्टाग्राम पे बात करो या ट्विटर पे बात करो, दिल से ये क्या होता है, दिल से हैं, ये क्यों करते हैं लोग. एंड इन यूएस इट्स क्वाइट द ऑपोजिट. टेक बनानी पहले बात करते हैं वो. See, they have a different confidence levels. They are a very different country, or if you see other countries in the Western world, they are checking के चलेगा कि नहीं. इंडिया में बनाने के बाद चेक करते हैं चलेगा कि नहीं, और तब तक दुनिया बहुत पीछे हो चुकी होती है. हमें 2 साल लगते हैं किसी को चीज को बनाने में. इंडिया, so Indians make a very different mistake. We don't do customer validation in time. That's a large mistake we make in startups. We just expect कि यार मैंने बना दिया है, मैंने बिरयानी बना दी, अब लोग आके खाएंगे, पक्का खाएंगे. अरे बिरयानी कौन बनाता है पंचकुला में, अरे. बट द पॉइंट इज ना, दुकान खोली नहीं, पैम्फलेट छपाया नहीं, अपने घर ही बना के बैठे हुए हो, एंड यू एक्सपेक्टिंग द वर्ल्ड टू ईट योर बिरयानी. दैट इज अ वेरी इंडिया ट्रेट. ये पूरे देश में ट्रेट है. इट्स ऑल द वे अप एंड ऑल द वे डाउन. आई एम नॉट सेइंग it's a very large problem this country has, that by the time the biryani is cooked, somebody else has made a better biryani and he's done a better marketing job. Then you say, अरे यार मैं तो फेल ही हो गया. फेल नहीं हुए आप, आपने अपनी बिरयानी के बारे में बात ही नहीं की. And that's a problem. So that's a big mistake.
Thank you so much, sir, and I completely agree with you.
अनन्या, आप कुछ पूछना चाहते हो?
Yes, sir. First of all, thank you so much for sharing your journey with us. Thank you so much for telling us what all things you did as somebody who is related to the technological industry for so long. So, my question to you is that for the ones who aspire to go into the technological industry as well, we all know that right now the developments taking in technology, AI, it's taking place at a very fast pace. So what all changes do you expect in the upcoming 4 to 5 years to occur,
Hi
or
Rabba.
by the time that we get a chance to open our own startups or something
That's
like
a
that?
simpler answer than the other two questions. I mean, it's a one-line answer. Uh, all you have to keep an eye on is to what's happening every day in the world. Because if I was to predict 4 5 years, I would be a billionaire. I wouldn't. I'm not there as yet. I'll get there very soon, but I'm not there. तो उसे क्या है कि that question simple answer is that things will change dramatically. It's changing every day. Every day, it's just surprisingly stupid. It's just changing every day. So if you are not going to put an effort every day to carve out 10 minutes to answer your own question, you know, your generation has a very large curse, which is also your biggest advantage. Your generation's curse is distraction. Okay. I think, in our world, a million में से जो 100 people went to IITs and cracked it. Another 100 went to Harvard and Carnegie Mellons and cracked it, right? So those 200 people out of a million cracked it, and maybe let's say another 100 cracked it who went to Microsoft, like I'm telling you. Let's say 300 people either through school, college, US, India, or good job cracked it. You understand? Similarly, in your generation, the 300 people who are going to crack it are not going to be IITs, not going to be Microsoft jobs, are all going to be startup guys, but they'll all be not distracted. If you guys can find life beyond Snapchat and Instagram and Tinder, you made it. You absolutely made it. I mean, in fact, I'm now start telling young children, if you defer your social media till 22 years of age, you made it. You've made it. That's it. End of story. You'll say, कैसे क्या करना है सर? क्या करना है उसका? अगर मैं स्नैपचैट पे नहीं जाऊं तो फिर क्या करूं? ऐसे नहीं, 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 कुछ नहीं करना है, कुछ नहीं करना है। यू गेट, समझ रहे हो मेरी गल? कुछ नहीं करना है, उत्थे नहीं जाना है बस। That will all happen. The 300 people who can come to my table and say we are not distracted, we don't know what's happening outside of the AI world that we search ourselves. If you can get undistracted, you made it in life. But it's a undistraction ask of your generation is like me saying IIT क्रैक किया है पहले 10 में, हार्वर्ड क्रैक किया पहले 10 में, इलॉन मस्क का जॉब किया है और जकरबर्ग को रिपोर्ट कर रहे हो, ऑल इन वन। दैट्स हाउ मेजर दिस आस्क इज, और दैट्स व्हाई ओनली 100 विल बी एबल टू डू इट इन योर जनरेशन।
Sir, just I stop. Sorry for interrupting you, but I think so ki the things that you are saying, I think so ki these are very relevant. If I say you, sir, that these are the things that I am following on my day-to-day basis, like I can't get distracted easily. First of all, I don't have any social media. That could be the first point I could say. And the second one is ki I don't really get distracted with whatever is happening around the globe, except the newspaper, the news that is around the TVs. So, sir, can you now just suggest me that how could I, manage my academics? I could just brief you about myself also. Like, I am a scholar in my school, and I think so. Ki particularly, I like academics. I like studying. I like physics and all. But I have a deep, interest towards AI also. Like, I have been learning Python, and it would be see almost an year, and now I have to get into the NumPandas and all that, stuff. But I want a clear, a roadmap probably from a senior, so that I could really step into this world. Like, what could be your suggestions? What should I learn? What mistake should I avoid? Following that, I am not distracted by what you told.
So your biggest answer I can give you is go to these one of these freelancing sites, pick up a small AI फ्रीलांसिंग जॉब। किसी ने बोला कि मेरी पाइथन में ये बना दे, कोई बोलेगा कि मेरा अपना मुझे एलएलएम बनाना है अपने अपने ऑफिस का, छोटा एलएलएम, माइक्रो एलएलएम्स दे आर कॉल्ड, लार्ज लैंग्वेज मॉडल बट माइक्रो, you can pull it up very easily, it's not a big thing. If you are to simply make your time useful to where the world is expecting it to be useful, you're set. You're getting me? So I'm not going to say, Darsh, go do this, go just pick up one of those freelancing projects and finish them like you are a professional. Finish them diligently and communicate properly, okay, and then pick up one of those projects. That's it. That's as deep an answer I can give you as anybody.
Okay,
Absolutely.
sir. So, sir, you are trying to say that I should mainly focus upon the real world targets from an early age itself, and just go to the freelance sites and just do that. But
Yes.
another thing that I want to like ask you is that ChatGPT is widely available, like it is available and accessible to each and everyone. Why would a person go to freelance site and for just a small project also hire a freelancer that he could just do with his one click only on his computer?
Mm. So, you know, this is the beauty of this conversation. Within 2 days, you'll be telling Akshay, oh my God, I thought everybody will use ChatGPT and all these projects will not be existent only. And then you'll be calling Akshay and saying, sir, जैस सर ने जो बोला ना, 1,06,000 प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं आज जो मैं चैट जीपीटी में 1 मिनट में कर सकता हूं। The point is, those guys are not in this call. I told you ना, access is very big thing. अगर वो लोग कोई ओरिएंटेशन मिल जाए ऐसी इस कॉल में तो बात ही क्या है? So don't worry about it. You come back and send me a message saying, sir, ये तो बिल्कुल मैं जो बोल रहा था ठीक था सर. Nobody has those projects anymore. Everybody using ChatGPT. That's not possible.
Right, sir. I think so ki that is very true. That I could really relate upon that those aren't in this call and so they are not getting upon with the conversation.
Exactly.
Sir, just a question. Is Python a good language to start with?
Python is a brilliant language to start with.
because they usually contradict with the fact that it is an easy language, it is a high level language again, but since the competition is so like I can say that huge, the Python has no scope in itself. You need to really go upon with the languages like Jupyter, etc. So what are your views regarding?
Every language, once you understand the first one, is less than a week away. कोई भी लैंग्वेज आप सीख लीजिए, उसमें माहिर बन जाइए. You become strong in any language. Every other language for you is going to be a week away. The issue is pick the first one and go for it. If you're going to wait to see which is the best, you wasted that 1 year, which I'm saying is going to make you behind your peer group.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Darsh. And right now, we'll enter into our last segment. We have remaining 25 minutes. And Jas, sir, we have something very interesting prepared for you. So, the students, they've also come up with their own business ideas. I briefed them yesterday. So, they've not had too much time, but they've had one day to think about an innovative idea that they think can solve a problem around them. So, they have come up with small pitches and they'll present their ideas to you, and I think they go back to the theme of this conversation, working on real world projects, and also communicating well, presenting your ideas, marketing your ideas. So in the spirit of that conversation, I'll invite all of you now to share what you have come up with, and we can go in any order. Perhaps let's say start with Ananya, then we'll come to you, Mannat, and then finally we'll end with Darsh. So I'll invite Ananya, take about 2 or 3 minutes, briefly share your idea with Jas sir, and then we'll invite him to share his feedback, and then we'll go around the circle in that order. Over to you, Ananya.
Thank you, sir. So, sir, the idea that I'd like to pitch is that of a font inventor. So, ever since I'm into coding, I was always thinking about something like this. So, like as we all know, in today's fast-moving world, not everyone can afford to write everything that they need to with a pen and paper. They don't have enough time for that. So instead of that, they can like make a database of the different letters, symbols, or numbers in their own handwriting. In the app that I wish to design, with the help of that, in with the help of computer vision in that app, it will be able to generate a font based on that database. This will make many tasks for that person easier, and it will also provide a personalized touch to the person's typing. And sir, this was one of the projects that I submitted for KRUU also. So I had researched some business uh, themes for this. So I got to know that handwriting recognition is one of the softwares that many major companies are working on, even Google, like with its Google Lens facilities. So I think that this idea is a good advancement on that.
Hmm. So, short answer is this is not the first time I've heard about it. Again, I sit at a very vantageously different position than you are. I'm also a venture capital guy. I don't know if you know that I have 60 investments. Uh, you know, uh, but so at the age and the thought process that you've put into this, that's beautiful. I think uh, you should continue doing it if you have to.
Thank
Uh,
you, sir.
हाँ वो तो करना ही है, but I am not going to say that this is the first time I've heard about it, right? But this has been, uh, this thought and an idea has been around for years. I mean, if not 20, it's been around. Everybody's been trying to do that, and by the way, handwriting recognition and image processing, which is called image processing, it's a very old, as old as 1994, if you remember my first story. uh, so it's been there for a long time, but uh, I'm assuming you resonated to it, right? मुझे assumption ये है कि आपको ये problem पसंद आई versus saying मैं अपने किसी की पालक अच्छी उगाने का एक सॉफ्टवेयर बनाऊंगी. You didn't resonate to that. You resonated to this. इसमें all you have to do is take one more step with me. Go one step ahead. You and you have to do this if you want to, and I'll support you if you want to. What you have to do is you have to go to your family doctor who has the worst handwriting possible on earth. Okay. You go to your family doctor and say, Doctor Saab, uncle, doctor uncle, I want to give you a piece of software which I will make patient records out of as you write, because those guys will never use technology. उनका तो बल्कि मर जाएंगे बट टेक्नोलॉजी यूज नहीं करेंगे. यू कांट गो एंड टेल देम कि ये आईपैड ले लो, इस पे लिख लो, कोई चांस ही नहीं है. नन ऑफ देम इज गोना डू दैट. बट यू गो एंड से द फॉलोइंग, से सर मैं एक वेबकैम लगाना चाहती हूँ आपके यहाँ पे, यहाँ पे, यहाँ पे, या यहाँ पे whatever. And as you are writing in your daily life, you know, RX, two medicine, two tablets in the morning, test, blood test, you know, ये जो लिख रहा है ना, if you can capture the way he's writing, either you capture it on the form factor or through AI or through the way his hands are moving, you know, R is this, no, look, you know, is this R, are you agreeing, are you looking at what I'm doing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is this R?
Yes, sir.
Is
Like
this
this.
R?
No, sir. This
It's
is
a
not
J.
R. This is J.
Correct. See, I'm writing a U. So my U and somebody's J is different because this is laterally inversed screen. Na? If you can write that software as he's writing, एक मशीन पे सामने दिख रहा है उसको, वो जो लिख रहा है वो सामने आ रहा है, and then it's recognizing it and making it into a proper ASCII code, ASCII, like, you know, proper English language. If you can do that, you are a winner. I'll fund you. You're a winner straight away.
Thank
So,
you, sir.
so
I'd
therefore,
love to work on that.
yeah, therefore you have to take next steps. If you don't take the next steps, then you're just another person. Then you know you are, you know, just another API. You know what an API is, you guys? सीख जाओगे. So you're just, you just, you know, like chat gpt you're using is an API. It's a application layer interface. Somebody is providing something. Anyway, so that's good as long as you take the next step and find the use case for it.
Absolutely. No, thank you so much, sir. Ananya, great idea as we had discussed yesterday. But of course, as Jas sir also said, very preliminary stages. So think also about the business side of it. Plus, very importantly, what sir mentioned, just do one prototype. I mean, go to, as he said, go to a family doctor, someone whose handwriting is poor, and see if you can build something and capture that and convert it into something a computer can understand. And the next step is very important. I think the spirit of today's conversation has been that, doing, and that's what we say, learning by doing is the most important thing. So the more you do, the more steps you take, that is what is going to distinguish you from others. Already being part of this community is giving you an advantage. Now to convert that advantage, you have to start taking next steps. So thank you so much for that. Over to you, Mannat. I'll invite you to share your idea with sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Hi, I am Mannat, a psychology student in grade 11, and I am thrilled to share an idea I am deeply passionate about, a mindfulness kit subscription service. So, as a psychology student, I have noticed that stress and anxiety are most unavoidable, especially for young people like us. So, with academic pressure, social media distractions, and uncertainty about the future, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. So, but there's a solution: mindfulness. It's the simple practice of staying present, managing stress, and fostering mental clarity. So, my idea is to create a monthly subscription service that delivers mindfulness kits designed to make mindfulness fun, accessible, and practical for students. So each kit would include guided journals to help reflect on thoughts, and stress relief tools like worry stones or aromatherapy oils, excessive to exclusive guided meditations, and creative outlets like coloring books or gratitude cards. So the subscription would cost around 300 to 500 per month, so making it affordable for students. The price will cover high quality items, digital content, and doorstep delivery, ensuring accessibility and convenience. So, my mission is to help young people carve out a few minutes each day to reconnect with themselves, reduce stress, and build emotional resilience. These small, consistent practices can lead to big improvements in mental well being and productivity. Although it's still in its early stages, but I believe this idea has the power to transform how our generation approaches mental health. Thank you so much.
Mhm. Interesting. Again, you know, It's a clearly a very important topic. It's a again clearly a very your generation issue, and I'm glad. I was talking to somebody the other day, and she was your age, a friend's daughter, and we got into this major discussion. And I said, and then she finally wrote a blog, and that's just a beautiful blog. Aru is her name. I'll send you the link. And she's saying that, why are we bringing up mental issues? You guys did not. We didn't, right? Our generation did not bring up mental issues. I mean, we are dying of it now, uh, because we suppressed it for 40 odd years. We, all of us, I think, COVID में सबके ही दुनिया भर के, I think 8 billion people went through mental issues. They all came out because we finally got time to think about them, and we also got time to think about mortality. You understand? You know what mortality is, right? Finally, all of us in the same time across the world saw death so closely, and so closely, right? The whole world. And then, the way energies of the world are, that uh, we the earth shifts in quantum leaps. I've been saying that, everything is a quantum. इकट्ठा ही पूरी दुनिया को कुछ होता है, जैसे एआई इकट्ठा हुआ. अब ये मेंटल स्ट्रेस जो आप बोल रहे हैं, ये इकट्ठा हुआ है पूरे देश को. इट्स पूरे दुनिया को. Not your generation, this is erupted as one of the largest diseases which was unnoticed for 40 years, because we were, it's a hard discussion, right? You understand that it's not easy for me to raise my hand and say, Mannat, I'm mentally depressed, help me. Nobody's going to do that, especially in our society. तो बल्कि chance ही नहीं है, because we are looked down upon with having a mental illness, right? Manat, I think again something that I've heard many people approach this the way you are saying it. You got to, if you're doing it because it's a need, then I must tell you that there are 1,000 people ahead of you who figured it out, who are doing it. Nobody has cracked the problem statement. Solution किसने crack नहीं किया है. And what I mean by that is that the problem, the way you said it, exists. I think all of us will agree. Everybody is mentally screwed. We all need coloring books. We all need, monthly subscription. Everybody on earth needs it. But nobody has figured out. I mean, of course, some Valley companies have done well, and we all take the subscription as well. But you got to think with me two more steps ahead. Because 500 रुपए देना for such a boring thing. I know I have a mental issue, but what boring यार. मन्नत को 500 रुपए देने हैं मुझे महीने के, and all she's sending me is a coloring book. I can, pretty much go download it on the internet and, take a print and start doing it. दुनिया में ना लोग करते नहीं हैं. They say that there are see, your biggest issue in startups or business is going to be when people have an alternative which they think is stronger than yours. They think करना किसने कख नहीं है. They think that अरे मन्नत को पैसे क्यों दूं, मैं तो खुद ही कर सकता हूं. ये बड़ा इशू है. That's why doctors are successful. ना, you can't be a doctor. Yeah, you getting me? You can't build a building. You will have to go to an architect and a civil engineer ना, तभी वो successful है, because तुम घर बैठ के नहीं कर सकते हो. So I think you got to take that next. I mean, it's a real issue. It's a real problem in the world. Clearly, my point is that the solutions are a lot. Again, this requires you, like I was telling Ananya, this requires you to Google this the hell out of, to see what are the possible answers that the world has already found. And therefore, your approach is not giving me a differentiated answer. And that, I think, you can take a good 10 days, 15 days, 1 month. You can find a differentiated answer. When you absorb yourself in this problem slightly more, because there's been just one day, right? एक दिन में कोई रिजल्ट नहीं आएगा. एक दिन में आपने सिर्फ प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट को फ्रेम किया है और अपनी ओरिएंटेशन से बात की है. लाइक आई सेड ना, अनन्या इज doing handwriting analysis versus building a house, because she likes doing that. You like doing what you've said, but please go take a month in understanding बाकी लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, इसमें कहाँ पहुंच गए हैं. तो just do that. Otherwise, again, this is a real problem which needs somebody to come out with an answer which is different. So go deeper, please.
Thank you so much, sir, for the advice. I'll definitely work up on it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mannat. All right. So last presentation for you, Darsh. Take it away.
So, sir, basically, I have prepared a BMI calculator, body mass index, with a like a Python simple coding that I knew basically. So I have coded it, and here is a simple coding that is I have written with the help of my understanding with the Python and of course the Chat GPT to get the outputs. So, sir, this is the coding that I have done. My main experiment was to see that how can I really get into the health industry, because I think so it is a vital day-to-day issue that we are experiencing, not only in the terms of say our the mental issue, but also with the context of how fit we are, है ना? So that could be done more personalized way. I know that BMI is done by each and every app, and why would a customer buy my app in when there is Apple softwares have been created, like the Apple Health and the Google Fit, है ना? So these are created. Why would they buy me my software? But I certainly think that in my software I am having a freemium model. Now, what this model basically suggests that I will be providing them with this app, and this app will be certainly, inputting the name, age, weight, and all that, height, and the blood pressure will be taking, and then it will be giving the personalized advice. Since I have prepared a prototype only, so I will be mainly focusing upon creating the UI also of the app, so as to there could be, first of all, customer evaluation can be taken in such a manner that the inputs from the customer can be increased. Taking it from a business point of view, I don't think that in the starting I will be getting any business, but after that, if the number of appropriate users have been reached, for example, when the count has been increased, so then we could just switch on to the the paid version also. That could be giving a personalized like a feedback from a doctor at a very low rate, like say a 500 subscription for 3 months, in which the doctor's coverage will also be covered, like the advice from the doctors. And alongside the doctors, the other thing that could be included is the free programs related to the health industry. So this is all that I quoted, and sir, I just await your feedback.
Hmm. So, my feedback now to all three of you is very consistently the same, right? So, let me first tell you that attempting what you three are attempting, let's make sure we say that this is 10 upon 10 because you have reached here. Now, the fact that you're doing something which is uh, become pervasive in the rest of the world is the issue that I have for all three of you. Okay, and that's you also. देखिए, the BMI code that you've written is uh, is one of the most simplest and basic codes that you could have written, right? बहुत simple है, but the fact that you wrote it is what is giving you 10 upon 10. हाँ, so for attempting all three of you, I'm going to give you 10 upon 10 for where you're talking, the way you're presenting, 10 upon 10. You, since that you written a code also, I'll give you 11 upon 10 versus the other two, 10 upon 10. But for making a BMI calculator, I'm going to give you anda. You know what an anda is? Actually, in North India, na?
Yeah, zero.
हाँ, वेरी गुड, दैट इज अंडा. तो बिकॉज वो जो यूज केस आपने बनाया है इतना ज्यादा आप बोल रहे हैं परवेजिव है, एप्पल पे है, एंड्रॉयड में तो आई थिंक 3600 एप्स होंगी BMI की, इफ नॉट 40,000. सो आई थिंक व्हाट यू हैव टू डू इज यू हैव टू से ओके, is am I leading this somewhere, am I making this, if सी दैट ऑल्सो द वर्ल्ड इज ओवर के लोग BMI को डाउनलोड करेंगे और फिर उसके बाद आपके से कुछ बात करेंगे बिकॉज पीपल आर बिकमिंग, टाइम किसी के पास नहीं है. गलती से एक बार आपने ऐप डाउनलोड कर ली, उसके पास उसकी नोटिफिकेशन पढ़ने का भी समय नहीं है. It's a very hard world we are living in. I told you, distracted world, right? Very distracted world. You better come in with a use case which makes, the minute I read it in the app store or I read it as a review, I say, अरे यार ये तो चाहिए यार, ये तो बहुत डिफरेंट है यार, ये तो बिल्कुल चाहिए. And therefore that is what is not working for me. That is what I would like, because you guys have started, you've taken the gadis, the cars are out of the garage for all three of you. Other people have not even bought a garage. You at least have started your car and got out of the garage, right? You understand the analogy? कि आपकी गाड़ी रोड के ऊपर ऑलरेडी आ चुकी है, बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली जो रोड आप ले रहे हो ना, वो जा उस तरफ रही है, हमें जाना उसकी तरफ है. बट यू आर स्टिल ऑन द रोड. सो डोंट कंफ्यूज the car moving as movement in the right direction, right? Where was I going earlier in my train journey when I said we have to go this Dadar station का क्या कहाँ जा रहा था मैं? Where was I
We
going?
had to go to Sukna Lake, but we went to Mohali.
Correct.
Mohali.
So जाना हमें सुखना लेकर आप भी मोहाली की तरफ निकल पड़े हो. So what is going to happen is in the first few minutes of going to Mohali, you are going to see movement. You're going to say, अरे यार ये तो सही लग रहा है यार, गाड़ी चलानी आ गई है मुझे, रोड कितनी अच्छी लग रही है, अरे पेड़ भी हैं, लोग भी दिख रहे हैं, अरे लोग सामने नींबू सोडा भी मिल रहा है, अरे केले बिक रहे हैं. But you're going the wrong way. Are you understanding? जाना तो है ही नहीं वहां, हमें तो दूसरी तरफ जाना है. But in the first 10 minutes, you're seeing only the right things. You're only saying, Arey, this seems to be great, man. Arey, roundabout aa gaya. I have to keep going straight. Lovely, lovely. So you're going in the right, you're going, but direction wrong. Hai. You have to take the U-turn at the next roundabout. So all three of you, I'm asking you to take the, not a U-turn. Some of you have to take a left turn, some of you have to take a round turn, and some of you have to take a U-turn. But the fact that you are on the road is very important. और आप तीनों रोड पे हो. So that's why BMI, you have a coding background, Darsh, which is brilliant. You've done this. You've showing me code. By the way, I'm still a coder, so I can even tell you where you went wrong in your little code. When I say wrong, I can even point out the remark that you've written, and I could have said that a remark ठीक नहीं है. But the fact that what you wrote can be generated through ChatGPT, and I can do it with you, is something that is to me a commodity. Give me a second. Hello. ये करना. Solve means stopping the spam of the country. Now you're telling me, now this is a problem to solve. You come and tell me, sir, Manas, I'll finish all the spam calls of this country. Now you're talking. Now it doesn't matter you're going to Sukhna Lake or Mohali, because you suddenly are telling me that, sir, I bought a Ferrari. Now I want to sit next to you, even if you're going to Sukhna or Mohali. Now you see the difference? Because आपने कार इतनी बढ़िया खरीद ली है. अब तो आप मुझे बोलो कि मैं तो सिर्फ राउंड ले रहा हूँ, सुखना जाऊंगा, फिर वहां से मोहाली जाऊंगा, फिर वहां से टर्न करके घर आ जाएंगे आइसक्रीम खा के. आई एम इन फॉर दैट ऑल्सो. आ जा, लेट्स गो. बिकॉज द प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट इज सो ब्यूटिफुल. सर मैं ना इंडिया की सारी स्पैम कॉल्स बंद करना चाहता हूँ. अब आई ना बात. कैसे? सर पता नहीं है. चलेगा सर, 1 महीना लगेगा मुझे सोचने में, मे बी 6 महीना. चलेगा सर, 2 साल लगेंगे. चलेगा. बट द प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट इज सो बिग that is worth your while to spend 2 years solving it. Does it make any, does this give you any idea of what's happening?
Yes, sir.
तो फेरारी खरीद लो थोड़ा सा, या गड्डी ठीक कर लो.
Sure, sir.
Great. No, thank you so much, Jas sir. This has been an absolute pleasure, and I must tell the children. I think Darsh, Mannat, and Ananya. I think you may not realize, and sir mentioned very briefly, but he's the founder of Full Stack Capital, and as he mentioned, he himself is invested in more than 60 companies. So just to get this opportunity to take your idea to someone like him and to get real-time feedback from him, it's an absolutely phenomenal opportunity, which very few students, I think, sir asked you to guess how many students are there in Panchkula. I can count the number of students in my hands, across India, who would have such an opportunity to be in the same room, to be in the same conversation with someone like Jas sir, and to share your ideas and to get feedback from him and to learn from his own journey. So absolutely phenomenal that you get to do this, and thank you so much once again, sir, for sharing all of this, being so patient with their questions, and showing them the right direction and inspiring them. I hope this leaves all of you with a lot of food for thought, a lot of reflection, and great that you have already started this journey of thinking about what you want to do, what you resonate with. Now keep building on that, and also take the feedback that sir said in terms of refining your problem statements, identifying the right problems, and coming up with the right differentiated approach to solving that problem, doing more research about what others are doing, keeping updated with the world. So all of these things, of course, will stay with you, I hope, for a long time. And perhaps 5-10 years down the road, when we connect again, you'll remember that this day I took this panga and I had this conversation with Jaz sir, and this has led me to something beautiful in life.
Sir, sorry for interrupting once again. Sir, I have just one more question. Sir, in our day-to-day surroundings, we are seeing that the people are preparing for the JEE. The main target is IIT and also to get into the computer science branch. Sir, I have a question regarding is it worth it to start right now for the coding, or is it to focus completely upon the studies and then get into the IIT branch of the computer science and then get through whatever is the the coding and all? Or is it good to start right now for the coding, prepare for the academics also, but not thinking about that IIT, but main focus is on coding? What are your views?
So I'll give you a very important feedback which all three of you can take down and note it down. ये लिख लीजिए आप तीनों. लाइफ में डिसीजन लेने के लिए there are many ways in which you take decisions in life, right? All of you are going to take decision like a million times for the rest of your life, million decisions. The best way to take a decision is what can I defer and what is important now. सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट अभी क्या है और क्या मैं इस चीज को डेफर कर सकता हूं. क्या आप आईआईटी की प्रिपरेशन डेफर कर सकते हैं? नहीं. क्या आप कोडिंग डेफर कर सकते हैं? हाँ. जवाब मिल गया?
Yes, sir.
मिल गया जवाब. क्या मैं ये
Yes, sir.
कल कर
Thank you, sir.
सकता हूं या ये आज ही करना है? मुझे खाना आज खाना है, कल तो नहीं खा सकता ना सुबह उठ के आज का खाना. तो खाना तो आज ही खाना पड़ेगा. सो देर आर सम थिंग्स इन लाइफ यू हैव टू डू एवरी डे, एवरी मोमेंट, देयर एंड देन. Some things you can defer. Say, I can defer this discussion tomorrow.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
That I'm helping you think, not give you an answer.
I love your curiosity and your ability to ask questions and making the most of an opportunity. So thank you so much for your questions, and thank you so much once again, Jas sir. You've been an absolute wonderful host and wonderful guest for the students to share your journey and share all of these life lessons with all the students.